Ray didn't tell you this, but he and I have been talking about doing these last two segments together, which would mean that we could put things together and have 2 whole hours, whatever. People talk and we talk and everything. We didn't know exactly how to do that, and so we just played it by ear. Let me begin by rambling. Ray said I was 90 years old, and that's good.
Yes, it is.
If you ever tried, yeah, you know, you just try it. It's nice. And one thing about it is you can do anything you want.
Yes.
If you have the capacity. The other thing is, I thought taking a cue from Dr. Carlson yesterday in speaking about Martin and how he was doing this kind of biographical thing of his early life. I thought I'd say something along those lines first. Because not only is it one's early life, you find as you get older, you still start doing biographies of your life too. Because all sorts of things have happened to you, and you were just doing them, and then when you sit back there, you're like, I wonder why I did that. In other words, you didn't have a really coherent reason or purpose for a lot of things that have happened to you in your life. When they happen, however they turn out, you make up a story about it. But then later on, when you look back on it, when you don't have anything at stake, you say, I really didn't know what I was doing. So when you get as old as I am, you've probably been everywhere and done everything. At least you want to say that. And so when I reflect, I'm trying to figure out, how did I get into this mess in the first place? I was telling Dwight and another group of people last night that I didn't get into this kind of study of religion because I was interested either in Christianity, the church, or religion. I had very little interest in any of that. I grew up in a family of churchgoers. My father was a minister. I heard him preach a couple of times. Because he had a church that was not the church we attended. His church was in Sweet Home, and we attended the church in Little Rock. And I went to church. The church was sort of nice. It was a place you congregate, all the young people go, and you dress up and you go there. And, once you're there, it's all right. Just get in there. But that, I never had any querulous thoughts about how did Jesus do this, why did God? That never bothered me. Whatever they said was all right with me. And so it wasn't out of some deep query or hunger or whatever that I became interested in the big questions about the nature of the world. So when I left home, I left home to join the United States Army Air Forces because I wanted to fly. Now, that to me was something. That whole notion of you going to be off the ground moving Thank God. You know, and here I am, I'm a little 17-year-old kid in Little Rock, Arkansas, and black as that. I ain't gonna ever fly. How's a 17-year-old black kid from Little Rock, Arkansas gonna fly? But the war came. And now, you know, all kind of mess was going on. Eleanor Roosevelt said, well, these black people said they want to fight like everybody else and all that kind of thing. And because most of the time, the black people were drafted and they were put in the quartermaster corps. Where they driving trucks and doing all kind of heavy, bringing us some stuff so we can use it. They didn't like to see the possibility of a black person killing a white person, even though they were Americans fighting these other folks. They didn't want y'all to get used to that. Doing those services that had less to do with that kind of mess. Right. But anyway, there was a lot of mess going on, but they said we're going to get these black people, and there may be one or two who are capable of flying. Right. And so they set the thing up to prove that black people don't have sense enough to fly. That's and they put it down at Tuskegee, and then they made it hard. They said if you were at 17, you see at 18 you had to sign up for the draft. But if you volunteered at 17 for the Air Force and could pass that test, then you would be put in the Air Force Reserve and they would call you up later. But you would go to the Air Force. So I said, okay. I went down to the place and I said, I want to sign up for the Air Force. He said, okay. And then he said, well, you're going to have to take a physical test and a mental test. I said, okay. But then he said, you have to go to Stuttgart, Arkansas to take that test. And I said, why are you putting that in the way? What don't y'all have a doctor here? But anyway, it was that whole thing. And then I got to get a bus and go down there. Anyway, I did it. And I passed the test. And so I was placed in the reserve. They give you a little wing to put in your lapel. You look nice. And so I got into the airport. And they called me into service 1 week before Christmas of my 18th birthday, the year of my 18th birthday. And I went to Keystone, Mississippi. Right on the Gulf. Absolutely beautiful. The first time I've seen anything like it. Instead of having pavement on the sidewalk, it was cowrie shells, white cowrie shells. But anyway, then they fooled around and whatever. I don't want to give you the history of the Air Force and all that. But I did get off the ground, move, and I was still a black boy. And I nothing like it. But so it was that kind of thing that impressed me. That was one thing. That whole notion of how can you be in the world? I remember many years later, Robert Farris Thompson curated a show on African art at the Smithsonian.
Yes, sir.
And it was called African Art in Motion. But by that time I knew a lot about Africa. I read the dissertation, I've been to Africa. Anyway, I wanted to see that. And it was, I guess it fabulous things now, but at that time this was spectacular. Because you could see the object of art, and then right behind it they had a video showing its use in the ritual and how it was done. And then the book came out, and it had chapters that walking, standing, lying down, riding. And so it was African art in motion, that human beings are put together in such a way that they are capable of self-determined movement. Self-determined movement. Now, when you have self-determined movement, that means you've got to be always changing. You have to be able to figure out how you're going to orient yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out where you are and where you want to go. So it's that kind of thing that seeps in there. Now the other thing that had to do with my being concerned the way I am is the fact that I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas in the 20th century, and I was black. And that was a good time for me, because I grew up in a very caring family and in a very caring community. I mean, it was all segregated and they treat black folks bad and all that. But in spite of that, you see, in spite of that, it was a caring community.
Yeah.
I know when my kids went to school, they had this thing about, well, he's from a lower class family and he's got, and therefore they don't learn, they don't have a book. Those teachers from the first grade through high school, none of that mess. You come to their class, they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you. I know the reason why. And I just love school. Oh, you know, I love school. Ooh, I love school. And I remember when I got to the 9th grade, I thought it was magic, because we took algebra.
Yeah.
Now listen to this. Mr. Gibson, who was a wonderful mathematician, he said, now, I'm going to tell you about this thing called the algebra. He called it the algebra. He said, if you don't know something, don't worry. Just call it X.